these sort of things for a long, long time. So it's a job very well done by our staff here, and we thank them for it. And people are going to find it a wonderful support. So I'm absolutely delighted to be launching that today. And with that, I hand you over to the Minister. Thank you again for coming and showing me.
I want to thank the INOU and to thank in particular Anna's chairperson and Breda for the invitation to be here this morning and to formally launch the 19th edition of Working for Work. And as Anne has said, it's very important that people have as much information as possible to enable them to do as much as possible in a difficult situation that they face if they become unemployed or if their status has changed. It strikes me that in terms of information, the publication of Working for Work by the INOU has been a very, very important resource for people, as has been said, right around the country. And it parallels, if you like, the work that the department has been doing with citizens' information and with the money advice and budgeting service. Because really, if we were to look at how the crisis has affected ordinary families and individuals around the country, there really have been two very strong elements to it for the people who have the highest level of difficulty. One is the loss of employment, and the second is that many people, particularly in the age group from the 30s up to the 50s, bought property, bought a mortgage, I should say, at the height of the boom, and find now that particularly if they've lost employment, they have a double problem: the loss of work and their situation in relation to their mortgage is often in extreme jeopardy. The two things that I suppose will tell us that all of the work that people in this country have done, all the sacrifices people have made in terms of the banking system and the restoration of the country's financial structures, that we'll know we're coming out of it is, and we're almost at the 4th anniversary of the fatal bank guarantee, and it's hard to believe all of the different things we've lived through. I was looking yesterday in Kildare with my colleagues at social welfare since the crisis struck, and sometimes you would get the impression, listening to some commentators, that there hasn't been in fact much change in social welfare. But in fact, about 2.7 billion has been taken out of social welfare spending since the onset of the crisis and the changes in social welfare from 2009 on. And 475 million of that was last year, and over 2 billion of it was in the earlier years of the crisis. So when we're in a broad kind of discussion around how we share this enormous difficulty in a fair way, in a compassionate way, and in an effective way among people and communities across Ireland, it is important to remember the different burdens that different sections of society have taken. And also to bear in mind, in relation to social welfare, that this year, despite the difficulties, the spend will be just over 2.5 billion, and that spend goes into the local corner shop, the local supermarket, the local post office, the local pubs and cafes and restaurants. So in terms of what economists call a Keynesian stimulus, it's spent right through the country. And one of the reasons that I have been anxious to maintain primary social welfare rates as closely as possible despite the difficulties has been because that ensures that people have at least the primary rates in terms of their spending capacity. and the vast number of people, 2.2 million people a week benefit from a social welfare payment. We've 1.4 million people that we pay social welfare payments to on a weekly basis, and when you take into account their dependents, that's actually in respect of 2.2 million people. So it's an enormous system.